All right, so we're going to talk about how to gain power, complete power over someone. And the strategies we're going to be using is a little fucked up because it originates from the creation of cults. Now, I'm going to give you guys the light version, the part that you may not go to hell from. But if you take this to the extreme, 100%, you're going to get straight ticket to hell, okay? And you got to understand, the people who this is going to work on, it's not going to work on everyone, okay? This only works on people with low self-esteem. And this is the priority, right? This is the most important part because it doesn't disqualify everyone, because what you have to understand is that when somebody likes you and they see you as somebody that's high value, you know what happens? Automatically, their self-esteem lowers in the presence of somebody that they like, right? When you see an attractive person, naturally, you don't notice this, but naturally your self-esteem lowers. And so when the self-esteem lowers, they come across as more attractive and you want their validation. As soon as they validate you, your self-esteem rises, and for some people, they take it for granted. But the key to give for somebody to give them power, to give you power, is for them to have one self-esteem, low self-esteem, through maybe them being attracted to you, or general low self-esteem. And you tend to see that through addictions, codependency, abusive childhood, not having a mom and a dad. Like, these are the signs that somebody is low self-esteem, and as a result, these strategies work on them. But also, like I said, it's not just people with low self-esteem, it's people who like you, because them liking you lowers the self-esteem, temporarily at least, right? So you gotta understand that. Now look, before we talk about the foundation, understand, if you guys want to apply these strategies and talk to me on the phone, you guys can book a one-on-one phone call with me today, and I could teach you guys how to do this, but without going straight to hell, okay? And if you guys want paintings, custom paintings done by me directly, you guys can go to my website. Actually, this is this painting we're working on right here, that I'm gonna have for sale. So if you guys want to purchase it, just go to my website. I'm planning on selling this for $2,000. So purchase that now, or else I'm gonna have to not close the channel. All right. Now look, what's the foundation to this? The foundation is the first. This is the most important part. You gotta have power over yourself, and this means having high self-esteem. And what's high self-esteem? It's just that you feel sad today, and you know that eventually your sadness will go away. You feel sad, and rather than seek validation, you read a book, you meditate. What it pretty much means is that you are your own ecosystem of positive emotion, right? You're your own ecosystem. You know how to generate happiness. Low self-esteem depends on you. People with low self-esteem, they can't feel good about themselves, so they use you to feel better. As you can see, that's why it's easy to gain power over them, right? So you got to be able to control yourself. Learn how to develop happiness from within, and usually you develop that through having a social circle, developing skills, developing a meditation practice, which you guys can do that by joining our meditation group on Patreon, right? So that's one thing, you do that. The next thing is to understand their nature. This doesn't teach you guys how to attract every type of person. You first have to understand their nature. What's their nature? Well, you have two forms of nature. General understanding of human nature, which is most people are impatient, most people want love, but then there's specific knowledge of human nature, which is maybe this person their dad wasn't there, and as a result, if you come across as a father figure, they get attracted to you. Or maybe this person, their mom wasn't there, or their mom was too strict, and as a result, they're attracted to women who are more rebellious, right? You got to understand their nature, and that pretty much comes down to listening and observing. And usually, if you want to really listen to people without having the capacity to hurt them, it's all about developing empathy. The problem is that a lot of you people are so self-consumed with your own self, you're so narcissistic, that you never truly give a fuck about understanding their nature. You're too insecure. You develop this empathy by practicing metta meditation. It'll literally create gray matter in your brain that increases your capacity to feel empathy. But you have to be interested in understanding their nature. The problem is that narcissistic people have enough incentive to shut up and listen and understand your weaknesses because they're evil. But most people don't have that type of incentive. Most people don't care. They just want to be loved. And because of that self-absorption, they don't really understand people. They understand general things about human nature, like I talk about on this channel. But for the people in your life, you're so self-absorbed that you don't really know what triggers them. You got to know what triggers them. Understand who they admire. Understand who they fear, who they envy. Understand their weaknesses, their dreams, their failures, right? Their broken dreams. When you understand that, then you could go to the next thing, which is what? The way that you control them is through fear and respect. Now, what do I mean by that, right? We're not talking slavery, okay? The fear is the fear of you leaving them. And this is why it's very important for them to feel attracted to you, right? It's very important for them, and I'm gonna tell you how to know that, but it's very important for them to see you as somebody that they need, right? You do that through fear and respect. And how do you gain respect? Well, through learning how to have control over yourself. They observe that they can't get you to react, or better yet, they notice that you're able to fall in love, but at the same time, you know how to fall out of love without going back to them. That capacity to walk away, even though you love them, creates respect. Your capacity to hurt yourself for the sake of leaving someone, people respect that, right? They'll also fear losing you. And the way you do that, well, you first have to understand, right? Go for those who need you. For example, I get into a lot of mentorship type of relationship with women. And usually these women, maybe their father figures wasn't there, but it tends to create like a mentor dynamic. Like, not like, like they're there because I know shit, but because they're attracted, because maybe they didn't have a father figure in their life and they see somebody who does a lot of things and they get attracted to me. They admire me, but at the same time, because of my insecurity, I like to feel needed, right? And so they fulfill a need in me and I fulfill a need in them. And I become dependent on them because the way they look up to me, the way that they come to me, but also I enjoy helping, right? So I am a very specific person for a very specific type of woman. So if she doesn't have a desire to admire, but she's a dominant type of person, right? Well, guess what? She's not gonna feel attracted to me, right? So it's go for those who have a need for you. And how do you know that? By how they react to you. From the beginning, they show interest. It's not difficult. It's not hard. You don't have to do a spin or Rooney and then do the moonwalk to get them attracted to you. They're attracted to you from the start. They're receptive to you. There's no game. There's no hiding code. It's not difficult at all. Like literally, like it's really about just going for the easy ones, the ones that are blatantly attracted to you. And by the way, we're gonna go to a quick little commercial break. Are you needy and creepy? Do you have a tough time coming across confident when you like the person? A lot of the times you just don't know what to do. You have habits and patterns that whenever somebody triggers you, you completely forget to do the right thing. Well, guess what? I have a course for that. And it's called The Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, and The Feminine Woman. What I call the fundamentals. All of those courses are meant to eradicate and exercise the needy, creepy parts in you through action. Meaning, you do what the videos say, and without a shadow of a doubt, you actually get the results. You'll notice that men call you back more. Men will want more relationships with you. They're gonna be the ones that are needy and creepy. They're gonna be the ones that want something. They're gonna be the ones that are the aggressors in trying to get a relationship out of you. But the problem is that a lot of people just watch one or two videos and completely forget that there's actually a system. Don't just watch one or two videos. Get the system either by purchasing all of them and get a discount, or purchase them individually. Because a lot of the times just watching one video in isolation, you actually miss the big picture. You have to understand why it works. You have to understand what to do next. And a lot of times my videos just can't address that. A lot of people, you see by the testimonies right here, a lot of people have done what those videos say and they've gotten results. Like the other day, I was in Mexico and they were like, "Hey, Alexis," and I'm like, "Hey, oh my God, you watch your videos are so great." And I'm like, and she was like, "Look at my kid." I'm like, "What you talk about your kid? That's not my kid." She's like, "No, no, no, because of him, because of your videos, he's here." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, that's a thing." But I get that a lot. And ironically, that woman watches all of my videos, right? So purchase those courses, man. And if you don't like it, you actually could get a 30-day money back guarantee, right? Purchase them individually or get a discount and purchase them all by clicking on the description down below. You have the option of purchasing the one with the bonuses that obviously it's more material, where it's like I give you guys meditations. There's also other courses on how to make friends, how to master anything, or you could purchase it without the bundle, which is much more affordable. All right. And with that, you guys are able to support my channel, which will allow me to make more videos. Okay. Anyways, see you guys inside and thank you. Okay, we're back. So you go for those who need you, who you fulfill a need, because think about it. You can seduce somebody who's perpetually happy, who they have everything in their lives. The problem with a lot of you people that watch this is the fact that you're trying to do the impossible. The person is completely content without you. They could fucking walk down the street, whistle, a bird lands on their fucking shoulder, and not even think of you. You want those that from the beginning, they're like, "Oh man, I hope this person likes me." They start texting you, it's pretty easy. The problem is that if you're insecure, you're gonna see that as needy. And you're gonna go after those who are more difficult. You're gonna see them as like, "Oh wow, they're so needy, look at them." No, it's the fact that you fulfill a hole in their heart, but because you're so insecure, you go for those who are more colder. That's insecurity. And that means that you have no power over yourself, right? So you go for those who react to you, right? You get them, you control them through the fear of you leaving them. And usually, how do you do that? Well, over here, through conflict. When they fuck up, right? When they do wrong, you talk about it. Not Bronx mode, right? You don't stab them, but that when negative traits present themselves to you, you don't keep it to yourself. You talk about it. And if it doesn't work out, you internally resolve to walk away. But you don't tell them that. But you internally know that if this doesn't resolve, I walk away. And this perspirates from you. This radiates from you at an unconscious level. And this internal belief, internal willingness to have conflict and willingness to walk away creates the respect that causes them to, over time, become dependent on you, right? So that's one thing, through conflict. And the beauty about it is that if you're able to have conflict and not go to prison and not break up, they become really attracted to you, right? Now, the way that you do this in a toxic way is that you and this is how this becomes toxic, is the fact that you create fights on purpose. You gaslight them. You say they did this when they really didn't do it. You become more sensitive so that they can react and that you can use that for your power. That's the problem. What I'm talking about here is actual things. For example, I was dating this girl and she was mad at me that I just wasn't consistent. And she talked about it. She was like, "Man, like I want something more serious." And I could tell in her face that she wasn't fucking around. Like she was always happy, but this time she wasn't smiling. And I was afraid. I was like, "Oh fuck." Eventually, I ended up having more feelings for her. But it was really because of this, where she was happy, affable, but then something clicked in her and she said, "You know what? I don't like this." And I kind of sensed that non-verbally. That's the type of conflict that I'm talking about. If I didn't respect her, I would have left, right? You go for the people who react to you, meaning when you do this, they're really willing to fix this. Motherfuckers out there will try to have the conflict. The person really doesn't need them. And rather than leave, you guys ask me, "What should I do next?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, walk away." Understand that you can't have power over everyone. I think that's the most important thing. You can't have influence over everyone. If you do, they'll have power over you. The next one is hot and cold. The next one is make them want to rescue you. And that usually comes down through you having your flaws, being honest about your flaws. You first tell people about your flaws. You show them your flaws. And people have a genuine desire that when they like you, they'll want to rescue you. But remember, they first have to see you as someone that fulfills a hole in their heart. And you first have to see that they react to you from the beginning, so that when they see your flaws, they don't think rationally and say, fuck this guy, this person does crack. They'll be like, oh my God, I gotta help this person because I like this person, I need them, they're different. So now your flaws isn't something that they're repelled by, because if they don't like you, they see your flaws, they'll walk away. But because they like you and they see your flaws, they want to rescue you. But in the process of trying to rescue you, they fall in love. You got to be careful with rescuing people, man, because you become emotionally invested in them. It's like the child that does crack versus the child that's a lawyer. Which one do you think their parents are more emotional for? The one that does crack. Right? It's the reticular activating system. It values more things that could potentially hurt you than the things that are already providing pleasure. And the next thing, and this is a toxic one, hot and cold. When you have conflict, always go hot and always go cold, right? In the moments in between when you guys are having conflict and resolving it, you want to be able to pull away while there's conflict, so that they can feel your absence, so that they can sense how much they need you, which causes them to get more reactive, increases their fear, increases their respect, and as a result, you'll have more power over them, because power is all about being able to show them that you are the one that's controlling how happy and how sad you are. But you're not doing it on purpose. You're doing it through a natural process. Remember that, okay? And this is what people have done. Honestly, this is the key. I got to reiterate. They have to be in a place of low self-esteem. And a lot of the times, I missed out in the beginning that it could be that they have low self-esteem because of childhood trauma, but also low self-esteem because they're sad. Maybe they're going through a tough period. Maybe they got fired. Maybe their puppy died, right? And like I said, the other type of low self-esteem is being attracted to you. These factors have to be there. And if they're not, you're not going to have power over them. And if you try to, they're going to have power over you. So remember, you got to have low self-esteem. The foundation, have power over yourself through developing a meditation practice. They have to need you. And how do you know that? By the way they react to you. It's easy from the beginning. You got to understand their nature, their weaknesses, their strengths, so that then you could tailor your seduction to them. You got to make them want to rescue you so that they can get invested in you, right? You got to go hot and cold when they fuck up, and you got to be willing to have conflict. But also, when you have conflict and you resolve it, go back to normal. Don't hold grudges, because then the coldness, the conflict, mixed in with the hotness, makes them appreciate you a lot more. And that's how you have power over someone. Understand, notice how I didn't tell you guys to chain people up. I didn't tell you guys to gaslight them. I didn't tell you guys to lie to them. I'm just teaching you guys how to have an honest relationship while not accumulating bad karma. Because I swear to God, if you guys try to manipulate people in a very toxic and psychopathic ways, because I know you're there, these types of things backfire, Avery. Yeah, that's right, Sam. Yeah, that's right, Johnny. Yeah, that's right, Melissa. Yeah, that's right, John. All right? So there are two strategies that are kind of evil that I wanted to include towards the end. And it's this. One, make them come to you. And then two, isolation. For example, rather than me if I'm trying to get a girl to fly out to me, if she was using these strategies, you know what she would tell me? She would say, you come to me instead. Rather than her come to me, I'll go to her. And the reason why is because, one, it puts me in a more uncomfortable position where she's comfortable and I'm not. But also the effort of having to go there. But also she could also create a scenario where I'll need to depend on her, where maybe she's Japanese and I don't speak Japanese. Now I solely have to depend on her. And in that state of dependency, I'm more reactive to her. So if I'm waiting for her and she cancels and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know Japanese. I'm in this place, foreign place, and she's comfortable. It makes her pull away, hurt even more. And sometimes isolation doesn't just mean that. It could just be that maybe you guys go on vacation. And in that vacation, you guys, because you're in a foreign area, you guys naturally depend on each other more, right? Isolation has a way of amplifying your presence and causing people to become even more reactive to you. And that's the power of this, right? And the last thing is that you don't want to do this with long distance relationships. This strategy works best when you guys have physical proximity, because usually manipulators, they'll tell you that they have more power over you when you're physically present. When you're physically absent, they lose power over you, right? So literally, I prefer for you to do this to people who are literally close to you, proximity. The further they live from you, the less I recommend this, because it just gives you more leverage, all right? Yeah, that's it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this, and let me know in the comment section if this has worked for you or if somebody did that to you, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Perfecto.